minutes talking about the HR industry and the challenge to avoid the repetitive task and to improve the time management of HR executives. So share with me a little bit your perspective.
So Francisco, 30 to 40% of the HR time is spent on repetitive tasks. And if I take in the order, there are many, but if I take a couple of them, one is the leave policies. With the states having different rules and guidelines and things like that, and if your company is a multinational, that's all over the place, and every country has their own rules. So leave policy becomes one of the biggest challenge for HR to address to what is my leave balance, to what kind of maternity leave I can take in California. These things changes, and also the insurance. Insurance policies, as we implement benefits for global companies and US companies, we realize that benefits are so different in different countries. It is different in US, it's very different in UK, Canada, and very different in India, Germany, wherever you go. So how do you address this? And an employee these days travels between, before COVID and post-COVID, people would start traveling, and you go from one country to the other. How do you address this question quickly? I think those are the two biggest challenges that we face.
So we started our adventure in artificial intelligence back in 2015. And one of the reasons why we started in this industry is because for social responsibility, we had 13 schools in Afghanistan. And we were actually sponsoring education of young women across the globe. And we saw that using conversational artificial intelligence was going to improve our functionality. So we translated 5 years later, let's say 4 years later, because we have been live with our solution, I'll show you, into creating a digital assistant for HR. Specific, in this case, I'm showing you an example as a single sign-on where you can choose different solutions to log in, but I'm going into the Querlo HR digital assistant specific to the implementation of SuccessFactors. So talking about leave, I can say, what is my leave balance? All right. So I'm not sending this message to someone I'm not sending this message to someone in the HR department. I'm communicating directly with SuccessFactors. Okay. And the chatbot, the artificial intelligence, will provide me a series of cards, putting in order the closest information to what I need, down to the point in which there are things that are less related, but they are still related. So, for example, if I want to check other topics, I can so. So I check here leave balance, and the chatbot will communicate back to SuccessFactors without me needing to log in and navigate SuccessFactors to inform me that I have 15 days of annual leave available. At this point, I am asked if this is what I was looking for. I say yes, and I proceeded to the next step. I'm informed about this, so I say, I want to go on vacation. So I will type this question, in which I can use many different ways to ask the same question because we're using natural language understanding. Now you see that check leave balance has less priority. In the middle of the pack, you have the access to the holidays, the check the calendar, even contact HR, in which I will now do. Because from time management perspective, I just want to handle it myself. I don't want to wait tomorrow morning that the HR department is available to me. I'm just going to ask for my own, and here I'll choose annual leave. And I will position the dates right here from 25th to June 5th, all right? I'll do my request here. It will reflect exactly on SuccessFactors, and I will submit it. And then here, the system will provide me the information that once my manager approves it, I will be informed, okay? Is this what you were looking for? Yes. Now let's look about insurance policy. I'm traveling, maybe I'm abroad, it's middle of the night in the United States. I want to know what's my insurance policy, right? What is my insurance policy? All right. So let me check on this. The chatbot will communicate back, and then it will identify 5 different documentations, medical and health checkup, employee insurance, statutory benefits insurance, and so on. So let's go, for example, medical and health checkup. Maybe I want to be checked by a doctor when I'm traveling. This is just an example. It's a dummy document position on SharePoint to give you an idea. But then here, in essence, you can download the full document and access and take your time to access this information. Now, again, here I'm asked if it's what I was looking for or not. If I say no, this is very important. We adopt a machine learning process in which we identify 3 different levels of correction: partially inaccurate, totally inaccurate, or this is not what I was looking for. So let's say maybe it's partially inaccurate, and for the sake of the example, and then here I can communicate back to HR what was the problem. So not only I was given the opportunity to access my policies and understand what I need and so on, but also to communicate back to HR if this is what I needed, and if it's not, what has to be corrected. So that's how, for example, here we're trying to help the HR departments to avoid repetitive tasks, because once they get the information from me that this is not what I was looking for, now they can take that 15, 20, 25% of time we save them on the repetitive task to improve their own policies, so that the company becomes more and more digital and you need less support from humans. In fact, we estimate on the first year, we save at least 12% of time to the HR department. In the second year, it goes to at least 24%. In the third year, we go up above 30%, just for HR. For employees, we're saving between 6 and 7% in the first year. It goes up to 10% and 15% in the following years. So it's a huge saving in terms of repetitive tasks. But above all is the knowledge-based management that is a huge benefit, because after a year of this back and forth between employees and the HR department, the policies of the company are so improved that really now we can say that at least the HR department is fully digitalized and that can learn on itself using the best natural language understanding on the market. Okay? Okay.
I think, Francisco, that was wonderful. I just want to add a couple of things that you mentioned towards the end. The NLP and the machine learning.
Yes.
Most of the policies and documents are very static in nature in HR. Yes. That means they were written long time back, legal review and everything else, and they have not been touched for over a period of time. So you kind of don't know how people react, how employees react to that. Whereas we have changed so much over the years with all the changes that are happening. Employee handbook, that is one thing probably people haven't touched that for decades. I mean, it was written and you don't, kind of go in and make those subtle changes, sometimes bigger changes that you would like to make. But this technology helps us to understand how employees are actually reacting to some of the things that are provided to them. For example, you write something, you get a message back from the policy, and then you say, well, this is actually not helpful. So HR understands that how many thousand times that same information which exists in the employee handbook, employee or the managers are saying that's really not helpful to them. And then you go back and make certain changes. I think the use of technology cannot be better explained in this manner, that it helps you to transform your policies. It helps you to transform your processes, but the policies are also interlinked with that, and it helps you to transform them as well. Wonderful.
That's the essence of the IP of the company itself, to transform the policies so that they become part of the real intellectual property of the company itself. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Very appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Francisco. Thank you.